Sexy games, the least respected of all the games. They're rarely done very well, and almost never praised for trying. Even attempts as tame as the original Leisure Suit Larrys are usually treated as pariahs, despite being comedy games about sex rather than, sex games.
You damn hippies should be ashamed!
Anything that even gets close to this territory is simply assumed to be compensating for a lack of, well, everything, and to be fair, usually correctly. Attempts with at least someone's tongue in their cheek, though, can be fun. There's often a naughty cheer to them, like an old carry-on film. They don't fight for respectability because they know they'll never get it. Instead, they damn the torpedoes and embrace their own silliness. Sure, they're often worth the biggest eye rolls you can manage without unscrewing your cornea, but even a bad game this openly ridiculous can offer a few laughs. Guilty or ironic ones as you prefer. The big problem tends to be that most attempts to play the sexy card just end up being misogynistic, unpleasant, and often creepy, even when done with a smile. The more recent Leisure Suit Larry games, for instance, or Seven Sins, or all manner of horrible, hateful hentai. Games can do sexy content and characters though, it just tends to be part of something else. Games where there's more degree of emotional investment that the sexy games inevitably skip over. After all, that's way more effort than simply paying someone to take their clothes off. Much easier to just grab a camera and quickly make something like, Bikini Classroom for Windows XP, an interactive guide for PC users who want fan service, but also to learn a little something about taskbar basics.
Are you excited? I know I am!
Riana Rouge is also firmly in the fail camp, and for all the reasons you'd expect, up to and including being a terrible game in its own right. It's a bit different to most though, if only for its origin. While most adult games are essentially by guys for guys, this one was brought to the world by its star, Gillian Bonner, a former playmate, Black Dragon Productions founder, and owner of These Breasts. She didn't actually design it, but she did executive produce it and have a hand across most of its development. Another woman wrote the script, another headed up the 2D artwork, and maybe with this much more feminine influence over everything, the result was a more mature, a more responsible kind of erotica. Yeah, right.
What's your sign? Oh!
Nope, Riana Rouge is one trippy little game, a gory, ridiculous mess of fetish costumes, half-hearted lesbianism, and really weird ideas about what counts as empowerment. Are you about to get bisected by your own Wedgie? Empowerment!
Now I understand.
The plot, for what it's worth, goes something like this. Riana is a mousy secretary type in a world of black and white and really awful acting.
Just be careful. Why?
She stops her boss assaulting a new hire and, for her trouble, is immediately downsized out of the nearest window. Instead of splashing all over the street though, she, or to be more exact, this dummy, comes smashing down through the roof of an Egyptian temple. An Egyptian temple with a skylight. Then things get a little weird.
Riana, the prophecy is true. You've come to save us.
Who are you?
I'm Javelin. I escaped from the castle. I know he's after me.
What happened to me?
Javelin tells her that she's absolutely not sitting in the Stargate ripoff, just an Egyptian-themed alien temple that happens to have a magical doorway to other worlds. Honest. Before she can offer any detail though, several giant spiders arrive to abduct Javelin in a totally not suggestive way at all, and carry her through the Chapel Eye, the totally unrelated, absolutely not a Stargate, to their master, the evil stranger. Riana of course gives chase, but she doesn't know which world they've gone to, which means surviving 3 different ones. She's a bit overdressed for the adventure though, wearing, clothes. Luckily, the not Stargate is on hand to fix that. Thus, you can say, Speaking of which, you know why this game's our Christmas special? Ho, ho, ho! Speaking of which, you know why this game's our Christmas special? Because it's the closest to Christmas. Anyway, each world is very short with a completely different theme, none of which bothers to justify Riana's outfit even a tiny little bit. First up is this futuristic prison, where Riana is apparently judged too sexy for her shirt, and thus has it confiscated by the sadistic warden. Andy Warhol? With no concealed weapons, apart from, she has to break out of her cell and go find Javelin. That's trickier than it sounds, because when it comes to death sequences, Riana Rouge is somewhere between an old Sierra adventure and Dragon's Lair. Much of the game is spent in conversation with crazy psychopaths, and of the 6 responses available at any time,
You're an ugly, scary criminal. But what you got?
roughly 5 will lead to something like this. Or this. Or sometimes this. I'm not exaggerating, but this is basically 3 discs of self-insert snuff fanfiction. There's a 3-person team credited for blood and guts, and they earn their paychecks. Things get really weird though when you look at the credits and see that the top credited blood and gore specialist is also the actress who plays Javelin. How the hell did that conversation go? Okay, basically your job will be to spend several months burning off my face, drawing my head exploding, and making my ribcage pop out of my chest on assorted alien planets. You up for that? I also want to have lesbian sex with you. Okay, I guess. What's your dental plan? Oh, we're saving the weird stuff for the sequel. With the help of the guy in the next cell, taking a break from somehow having her mown down with Gatling guns, Riana sets out to escape in the sexiest way possible, flooding her shitty cell with sewage to retrieve a bit of glass from under the floor. This conveniently allows for a laser grid related puzzle that frees her partner, who promptly rewards Riana's effort by running away and leaving her to the warden. His sadism and worse, his acting.
How did Gash escape?
I don't know.
Well, did he reach the pod, dude?
I've never heard of him.
How can I help you if you won't cooperate?
Stop torturing me!
She's only saved when the creepy guy shows up to sabotage a security robot, giving her the chance to grab the warden's gun. And you know what they say? When Riana Rouge gets a gun, it's gonna be a mascara. Fighting past the robots to get to the middle of the prison, Riana finds a trapped mummy in a straitjacket. Okay. He demands that she set him free by giving him complete control of her body and soul. Well, obviously that's not going to happen. Oh. Nope, turns out you actually do have to let him play puppeteer so that he can free himself and both of you can escape.
Now, trust yourself, Riana.
He tells her, somewhat ironically since he didn't trust her to press a few buttons, before throwing her a crystal for her trouble and kicking her back to the hub. So, we win? That whole saving Javelin thing, we're just skipping that?
Help me, Riana. You're my only hope.
Walk 2, hereafter known as the Garden of Eternal Chafing in honour of Riana's new outfit, is easily the porniest of the 3, and the strangest. It starts as it means to go on, with Riana arriving and immediately getting propositioned by some sexy plant life. Of course she's not up for it. Plants aren't good lovers, they don't have the stamina, she doesn't take a liking to them, she sees this forest for a tease, she's put off by the unsightly bush, she doesn't want to risk a venereal disease, she thinks they may have been pollinated by a hepatitis B, she's not turned on by their topoerotica, she has no interest in helping them spread their seed, she already has a budding romance, and as she leaves she's got 99 problems, but a birch ain't one. Giving up this chance to literally get wood, Riana continues her journey through this weird wonderland, past a door locked by a combination of animal heads with nose rings for some reason, to possibly the most self-indulgent puzzle ever created. It's another combination lock, but this time the options are all delicious foods, and an entire pepper for some reason, that Riana has to devour like she hasn't eaten for a week. Actually, as a nude model, that may actually be true. Certainly, Bonner doesn't seem to be suffering too much for her art here, cramming down chocolate bars and donuts and entire turkeys and oh god! Oh come on, who eats cake like this?
Look at you, sailing through the air majestically, like an eagle, piloting a blimp.
Enduring a couple more puzzles, including a sliding block one, the least sexy of all puzzles, Riana finally gets to one of the game's 2 sex scenes. The lucky recipient is this somewhat flatulent genie from a lava lamp, who Riana uses to give this unemployed censored bar some vital work experience. As payment for her sexual favours, she then enslaves him by stealing his lava lamp. Tit for tat, you might say. Finally, Javelin awaits, though not quite the Javelin that Riana was expecting.
We'll love each other and be happy forever.
We will.
Unable to fight off fake Javelin's acidic affections, she handles this by summoning her new genie to unleash the finest special effects that 1987 had to offer. Unfortunately, this was released in 1997. In case you're counting, yes, that's now 3 times that our heroine has been in danger and had to be bailed out by a man. Lara Croft, she is not. It's also weird that while it makes sense the evil stranger is played by the same actor as the rapist boss, he also plays the friendly male characters, like the genie she just slept with. Still, at least this world is done. As before, her reward is a crystal and a free trip back to the Stargate to hope that World 3 works out better. World 3 does not work out better. This level, The Amazing Adventures of Super Wedgie, sees her pressed into service as an errand girl for a village of phallic alien creatures who frankly deserve death. I'm just saying, when you dress someone up like this and then ask her to save your village's captured ladies, only to blast her for not leaping at the chance, anything that happens is on you. Spectacular dullness follows, with Riana somehow not having to go ow, 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 ow with every step, or at one point melt herself into goo by messing around with molten lava during one of the most spectacular science fails this side of the core. Convection is a thing! Her reward for all this messing around is to be splattered with paint by a giant green penis, which supposedly gives her incredible power, but seems more like a scene from the Let's See What This Chick Will Believe World Championships, since it is never, ever referenced again. Supposedly powered up by this ritual, which also involves burning all of her hard work, but also killing the guy responsible, so overall I approve, Riana heads to the middle of the valley where the cousin of the Lochnar from Heavy Metal is waiting. This big sexist red ball has kidnapped the women from the local tribe, and you might expect that Riana would punch it so hard the villain of Heavy Metal 2000 will feel it. Instead, she talks it to death, or to be more accurate, logic bombs it by pointing out basic biology until it explodes.
I am perfect and complete. Females are unnecessary and must be frozen.
Without their females, the synapse can't create.
What are you talking about?
They can't reproduce. No male can reproduce alone. Doesn't everyone know that? You are not perfect and you're not complete. Females are essential and you have made a very big mistake.
I approve.
And that's this entire world done. No sign of Javelin, no evil stranger. Every part of this stage is completely pointless, with a real sense it only exists because, well, they've got the costume. With all 3 crystals, Riana can finally head to the evil stranger's castle, kitted out in a new bad girl outfit that says, "I mean business, and I forgot my trousers." Finally, it's time for the most epic boss fight in the entire history of gaming. Or indeed, not. With her captor finally defeated, Javelin runs up to give Riana what she's been waiting this whole game for, a make-out session where no one has to get their face melted off. And if you've been waiting for that too, enjoy this sensor bar. Sorry. You're really not missing that much though. It's kind of a weird sex scene. Riana strips down to a pair of boots that frankly looks very uncomfortable. Javelin herself remains fully clothed, and frankly more put out than interested in putting out. It's almost with a sense of relief the scene finally ends when she gets yoinked through a magic portal to anywhere else. Riana, of course, is having none of this, and immediately gives chase through a castle full of the kind of tricks and traps you'd expect from something like Nightmare. Spinning blades, collapsing ceilings, more or less everything apart from wall monsters. Along with the traps, she has to defeat several bosses, all the evil strangers' increasingly unconvincing guises. On the first one, it's her father, disappointed his little girl has been running around alien worlds in her pants. She, of course, kills him. On the second, the evil stranger goes for her libido by posing as a sleazy biker, and okay, I guess that's her thing, and she kills him. Finally, things get really confused when he tries the exact same trick again, only this time as Prince Charming. Somehow I don't think Disney has anything to worry about. Having defeated these obstacles and minor temptations, Riana runs to the top of the castle to face the evil stranger. In a vague attempt to close the loop, he's recreated the assault from the start of the game. This time though, Riana has the strength and confidence that she needs to see him for what he is, which she did the first time as well, and throw him out of the window instead.
Crawl back in your hole. Javelin, did he hurt you? Are you alright? Oh, Javelin. That's okay. Oh,
What's happening?
let's get out of here.
Back in reality, Riana wakes up on the cobblestones with no idea of what the hell just happened, and frankly I'm not much clearer on it. If the whole thing was just a dream, you'd think that at this point she'd run back into the building to save her beloved Javelin. Instead, she jumps on a motorbike and just leaves. Our heroine?
This is not the end.
It's hard to know what to make of Riana Rouge, though I personally recommend a Frisbee. Despite trying to be an erotic game, in the end it's more interested in violence than sex, and handles that like a cartoon. The story goes nowhere, with Riana herself spectacularly useless until she just turns into the Terminator and thigh highs. The ending has no connection to the intro, the world's a nonsense, there's no point to this. Games like Sanitarium have done this before to say something about their character's mind, and actually work pretty well in that context. Just throwing some random stuff onto a screen though never works, and that's all Riana Rouge really tries. Sure, there's some symbolism going on here, but mostly it's either too obvious or completely lost. Only in the second world does everyone really embrace how silly what they're making actually is. The rest of it's just dull. And who was this even made for? While the credits do threaten a sequel, in practice that never happened. Riana Rouge scored poorly, and its adults-only rating can't have done wonders for its sales or distribution. Either way, this was Black Dragon Productions' only game, though the company is still around doing multimedia work. It claims to still sell copies of Riana Rouge, though the actual website is long dead, and the game's a real pain to get running even if you do acquire a copy. Quick time! On the plus side, while there's no way this game could be called good, it could definitely be worse. Merry Christmas all. May you find much better games under your tree.